Hello and welcome to Unbox the Podcast, the podcast that helps you live your best life. I'm your host, Sahar Huneidi-Palmer. Unbox Coffee Break started in the lockdown of 2020. What developed was a true sense of community, virtual community, and I found a new way to support my friends, followers, and those who needed help.
Something wonderful really happened today, this afternoon, and I am absolutely delighted because it's been a dramatic day between cat fights and getting gum bleeds and blood everywhere, but everyone is okay. One cat is in hospital, but he will be okay. The wonderful thing that has happened is in the middle of the afternoon, my very old friend from 30 years from London called me, and I could not believe it. And Italo Gregorio has been an amazing friend. And he just picked up the phone and it rang and it was him all the way from New York. And the last time we spoke was 30 years ago. And I was over the moon because it just brought into very sharp focus what is so special about COVID homestay. And I thought tonight I'll share my thoughts on how COVID has really transformed my life. Because we've been friends for a very, very long time, and it's as if we just picked up from yesterday, as if we spoke yesterday and we were picking up from where we left, and it was just wonderful. And something he said, friends are so important because they share your journey. And I thought, my God, how true that is. It's your journey of transformation, where you've been, how far you've come. And he said some amazing, wonderful things about me, and I said amazing, wonderful thing about him. And it was just so nice to capture that amazing friendship that we had in London in the 90s, all these years ago. He's also a very, very good friend, but he was my hairdresser in London, completely transformed my life, my looks. It was fun. We got into creative things. I don't know, we just did a lot of things together, really unleashed my creativity. I don't know what I brought up in him. He said all these wonderful things. And I think this is what friendships are about. When you can exchange something that enriches the other person's life. And what it helped me focus on, or make me realize today, that really how far I have come in terms of my own personal journey of awareness. Because I just realized, when you've been honest with yourself, honest with the person that you see in the mirror, you get to know what your own emotional baggage is and what is somebody else's emotional baggage. And I just came to the point that I realized if some people are dumping their toxic baggage on me, I say no, that is not my issue. That is definitely theirs. And I just put my foot down and I said, I'm not taking it anymore. So a couple of things that have happened that I thought, how interesting when people really stress, especially now in uncertain times, all the rubbish comes out, and all the rubbish comes out at you. And if you have been aware of yourself and true to yourself, you will know that this is nothing personal. It's not about you. It's a mirror reflecting where they're at. I haven't spoken to my friend for 30 years, but it's so wonderful. It really cheered me up, and it made me realize these are the friends that you keep, you nurture, and the so-called friends who diss you and say nasty comments because they're not feeling well one day. I'm reviewing my criteria of what a close friend is. The third thing that COVID made me realize is how important it is to give and receive unconditional love. There are one or two people that I put up with because I am allowing myself to experience giving unconditional love. Not do anything, just accept them the way that they are. Give them the space to grow and deal with themselves and just be present there. And that is the greatest gift that I gave myself. One of the greatest gifts. I'm saving the greatest gift till last. And it was really wonderful to also receive unexpected support and conditional love from people that I never thought would give it. Or I never thought that unconditional love and support would come through friends and acquaintances. And it just brought a home truth that, unconditional love comes from anywhere. So don't limit yourself to expecting it to come from the people who you expect it to come from. So the nice surprise was that it came from someone else. And I'm grateful for that, from quite a few people actually. And it's been wonderful, because if it wasn't for homestay and if it wasn't for lockdown, we would not have bonded in that way. We would not have exchanged the gifts and the support that we gave each other. And I just want to add, only you can know what your personal rubbish is, and please don't dump it on somebody else. I'm reminded of a little story of the son of a friend of mine in England, Gillian. Gillian had a son who was 13 years old. And thank you. And he was shorter than his average age. He was also shorter than the average boys in the class. And his mom was talking to him, and she said, she asked him, does this bother you? Is this a problem for you, being shorter than everyone else? And he said, well, I thought about it, and something is either a problem or it's not a problem. If it is a problem, it's either my problem or their problem. If it's not my problem, then it's their problem. And he said, it's not a problem for me. And I thought that young boy is so wise that I took that on board. And I always ask myself, why do people say that? Why did they throw such snide comments? Is it my rubbish or their rubbish? Is that problem my problem or their problem? If it is mine, I do try to own up and adjust it. If it's definitely not, and if you've been living with yourself long enough, truthful enough, you would know that it's their problem. So take it easy on yourself. Do things that you enjoy. Allow COVID to show you the blessings that it carries, that it has, because it really does. Number 4, recently I read a quote that says, never let a good crisis go by without taking advantage of it. It's been attributed to Churchill, but it isn't a quote by Churchill. I looked it up to just digress for a moment. What really impressed me about Churchill when I read his biography is that apparently he always had a bath, no matter what, in the middle of a battle, on the front line, wherever he was, in the middle of the desert. Somehow, a bathtub was procured and he would sit in it and relax, and this is where he did his thinking. There is so much that you could worry about because of what we're going through. Equally, you could choose not to worry about it and focus on your inner world. I don't think we've ever had a time, as we do now, to reflect inward, to look at literally our inner world, dissect it, body, emotion, mind, belief system, actions, holding ourselves accountable, and just reviewing life. There is so much landscape to explore there that I thought I've done it. I really have not. I'm revisiting places. I am releasing more toxic rubbish that I've been carrying for years. I've released some grief and sadness. I'm seeing friends and family, people who are important in my life, people who are not important in my life, like in a totally different perspective. And you can only do that if all the distraction is taken away from the picture. So there are no deadlines as such. There is no 9 to 5. Truly, everything is so different that it was difficult to adjust and climatize. But once you surrender, which leads me to the next point, what you can do in a crisis, if in doubt, surrender. There is a difference between giving in and giving up. And what I mean by giving in is you totally surrender. You surf the wave, you see where it takes you, you experience every moment in the now, and you watch yourself bob around emotionally or physically, and it will tell you so much, because I feel it's been a time to reset everything. And actually now, I think I got to the level where I'm going into the mind, and the first few weeks I found it very difficult to establish any routine of any sort. Now, the last 3-4 days, it's just started to happen. Sleep patterns are definitely different. They're still erratic, but I'm allowing it. I'm riding the wave. And what I've noticed is just gradually, without any effort, things are getting organized. I got a lot of things done today in such a short span of time, which is absolutely incredible, because last week I was dragging my feet and doing one thing a day. So there are a lot of gifts if you allow yourself to surrender and experience this fully for what it is, because what will happen is you will reassemble your bits, your inner bits, and there will be a new you that is more ready more able, and a lot more lighter and flexible to face what is coming. My sixth point is be creative. When in doubt, when frustrated, when stuck, get creative. It's amazing the number of people that I know, from coffee breakers and followers and friends, who have been cooking. Incredible. Cooking is not the only thing, but definitely cook, play music, paint, take pictures. Creativity for me is such a personal footprint because it is truly an expression of your essence, of your soul, of your consciousness. And by being creative, you are synthesizing a lot of information. You're getting a different perspective on life. You're projecting it back on paper or in a photograph or whatever it is. It literally changes the way you see things. It really literally changes your perspective. So we had a total workout for the walls today, reorganized the paintings, the pictures, and it's just amazing because I feel mentally more organized. I'm very sensitive to space. Nothing to do with taste, if something is disharmonious, like here, it really bugs me. The frequency doesn't feel right, if that makes sense to you. And then when I swap things around, it feels very peaceful and very clear. And today has been such a day. And finally, guys, the best gift you can gift yourself in COVID-19 is to learn how to belong to yourself. Not to put yourself under a microscope, that is not what I mean. It's literally to enjoy being you, without you judging you, without you analyzing every single bit and putting it under the microscope. Step back like you would allow your child to grow and form and be attracted to the things that they are. We need to do that to ourselves. Step back and allow you to be you so that you can discern what is the authentic you. And once you've found your authentic expression, you will never ever lose it, not under any circumstance. That is who you are. You may play different roles, but the real you is always there expressing those different roles. I hope that made sense. Thank you for joining me.